1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, Joe Leigh here for Seconds Out with Andy Clarke here after Linus Udofia has just been defeated by Denzel Bentley. Split decision, close fight, but overall a good night here in O2 Indigo.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, we had some kind of shocking news almost from the Josh Kelly fight right at the very start of the night. I mean, when I got here, there were kind of rumours flying around that Brinozi was wanting more money and didn't want to fight, and you kind of assume that it'll just get sorted out because generally speaking, when people do that, they do end up fighting. But he didn't, so that was a little bit of a damper. But the main event was terrific. We always suspected it would be a good fight as soon as it was made, and it was. It delivered. Going into the last couple of rounds, I thought it was anyone's. I really didn't know who was going to get it. Split decision was fitting. Denzel got the decision, so I didn't have any issue with that. I don't think I would have had any particular issue if it had gone the other way. I don't know whether we'll get to see it again. I'd imagine that Team Bentley will want to move kind of onwards and upwards. But yeah, it was a good night. It was a really good night.
For sure. And although Josh Kelly couldn't fight tonight, there's a card June 17th in Liverpool, so that could suit him.
Yeah, I think they're going to put him on that. He was fuming, and you can understand why. Canelo was livid as well, because you've been doing this a long time and you come up against these situations, and I think he just realised that he just didn't really want to fight. He boxed Linus back last October, and that was at middleweight, and he agreed to that fight. He's never a middleweight, this guy, and the Linus stopped him. And I think he probably looked at Josh Kelly and just thought, I shouldn't have taken this fight. I just shouldn't have taken it, and I have, and I'm going to be in trouble. And that's why he didn't want to fight. And I sort of agree with that. I don't think he should do it the way he did it. I just think he probably shouldn't have taken it in the first place, because he's kind of like a big welterweight, maybe a super welterweight. Josh Kelly's he was a welterweight, but he now looks like quite a big super welterweight.
Yeah. In other news, obviously, Eubank Jr was here tonight to watch Harlem, who put on a really good performance for as long as it lasted, and a round 2 knockout with the left hook. Harlem's looking good. He looked good tonight.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing finish. I remember him burying Peter Alexandrov with a left hook earlier in his career, which was a kind of knockout of the year contender. It was just a brilliant punch. We got an amazing view of it. It was right in front of us. And Masha's, in good shape still. Still a decent fighter, and I don't recall ever seeing anyone put him down like that.
No.
I don't think it's happened to him. And yeah, Harlem's been waiting he's been biding his time basically. He's not had the kind of fanfare that someone with his surname might get, or you might expect to get. But he's done a lot of work in the gym, I know that, and the other thing now is, he wants the winner of Dalton Smith on Jimenez Brown for the vacant super lightweight British title, and I'd be all over that. I think whoever won that, him against either one of those two would be a good fight.
Yeah, I think Harlem's kind of still an unknown quantity, but he called for that fight. He wants a British title fight next, so that'd be really good. As I say, Eubank Jr was here. He's been calling out for Golovkin after Canelo lost. Maybe the trilogy with him and Canelo isn't going to happen if Eubank Jr and Golovkin fought. How would you see that one going?
I think I'd probably still fancy Golovkin, because he's just been at the level he's been at for such a long time, and I thought against Murata, Murata made a pretty good start, but he still knocked him out in 7 rounds, didn't he? And that power's still there. Maybe he's not quite what he was, but nobody is when they get to 40. That's just how the world works.
Bernard Hopkins, other than Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, apart from him. But it's a good fight for him, and I really hope it does happen, because the rumour was beforehand that maybe he would try and come down a couple of pounds and he would box Kell Brook, but I didn't want to see Chris Eubank box Kell Brook. What's the point in that? You're boxing a blown-up welterweight. To box middleweights. So I hope he does get the fight against GGG.
And then obviously on Canelo, last of all, losing. What do you think we should do next?
I mean, he wants a rematch. His pride tells him that he'll want the rematch. He's better off at super middleweight. If Bivol offered it at super middleweight for all the belts, and if Bivol's going to put that on the table, Canelo should take it, because that extra £7 to get off of Bivol. He's always said he's not a big heavyweight, but he looked pretty big to me. And I've seen him around fight week. I'm sure you have. He's been out of camp, and he's walking around like he's a big bloke. So I think that really would level that playing field, because Bivol was he was brilliant. You know, defensively he was brilliant, and he just had all the answers. And I don't think there would be a different outcome if they boxed a light heavyweight again.
How did you score that fight?
9-3.
Yes,
9-3. I thought I did sort of nod off a couple of times. I'll be honest, but I thought it was quite easy to score. Before the fight, I said that I felt that Bivol could do enough to win, but he wouldn't win by enough to get it, if that makes sense. And we saw 9-3 became 7-5. But all three judges had every round exactly the same, and you very, very rarely see that. And we all decided there. Maybe it was one of those fights that looked different if you were there.
Yeah.
You get those.
Well, I appreciate your time. And
no problem.
Thank you very much.